We're all set here. So, welcome to our prep meeting number one. And the goal for these two meetings, really, just as we're going into the event, is that we kind of get our, dot our I's and cross our T's. And there's two things we're going to be going over, and kind of what I need you to get done before them as well. Okay, so this is a 1 hour straight of us kind of focusing and trying to, let's make sure that we have our phones away, so try to put these off, because it's a lot of info we got to get done in the next bit here, right? Because this event's coming up quick. It just occurred to me, next Friday starts the CNE, right? And Carter's been through it before, Billy's done it before, as well as Carl's done it as well, but it's in a week and a half. It's just like, I can't believe it's already coming up. So we have a big goal for this event. We've done about 40,000 every time. Any question?
I
Yes.
think Lynn has a question.
Thank you, Carl. So, for events training, I just kind of forgot where to look for that, or where to find the schedule.
Cover that.
What time was that again?
As in the next meeting like this?
No, this one I know. I couldn't figure out where to find for like the
Oh,
actual events.
we're gonna do that today, so don't worry.
Okay, and then
That's the first thing we're doing.
okay, and then also, is it shadowing, or are we like, is shadowing
The
for the
2 days you have booked are shadowing so far. We haven't
Okay,
shifts
okay.
yet. I feel confident enough that by that point we can have you booked for shifts later in the show.
Okay.
Right? So that can be done. We can talk about that today, time permitting. I just have to be out by like 11:40 the latest, because I have to leave for an appointment. I have a service call today. So
Okay, awesome.
I didn't dress up for y'all, okay? I dressed up for
Okay.
for
All right, awesome.
Flex, okay? All right. So anyway, point is, we got a lot that we want to get done, so we'll make sure that we're all kind of like in the know of what's happening here. First thing is, we're gonna go to our doc. So if everybody remembers our Google Doc, so it's bit.ly/MLD events. Okay. So let's go to that. So bit.ly/MLD events. So let me share my screen here. So this takes us here. I see Carl in here. I see a Shrew in here. Okay. So bit.ly/MLD events. That's literally the only website I need you to memorize. That's it. Because everything else is going to end up on this homepage. All right. Everything else will end up on this homepage. Everybody get that? So keep that in mind. All right. So on here we have like all of our events for the year, and also on here I'm going to put the starting doc later today, so you'll see on the new event member start here. So you're gonna, and remember, we went through the assignments at the meeting on Friday, but for reminders, this is where we're going to go. Okay. And the event Google Doc is here, so you'll see event team Google Doc. Just click the link, and then this right here is, whenever you find a show, which is something we'll talk about in our team meetings, our monthly meetings, not this call now or next week. Whenever you find an event that you want us to book or get info for, it's this link. It's a Google form. You fill that out. I check it on Mondays. Okay. So if it's not, if you just text me, I'm going to tell you to go to this form here. It's MLD request. It's another short form. Okay. All right. So the calendar is a very second, is well, very sorry, the next tab over. Okay. So you'll see, right, so calendar here, we scroll down to, so the CNE is coming up, so we have the prep call here at 10. I'm going to move it up half an hour next week because of the schedule conflict with the Johnny's team meeting. So we're going to go 10:30 to 12 instead. So I will change that in here afterwards. Okay. So yeah, but check that out. We're right there. Not even a week and a half. It's a yikes. We're under 10 days, guys. I have to get everything set by that point. This is gonna be fun. Okay. All right. And a couple other events that are coming up as well too. So anyway, the other thing we're gonna go into is go into the Google Drive now. Okay. So we're gonna go into the Google Drive. Let me go to here. So event team folder. Okay. So let's go into the Google Drive. So remember, click on homepage here, events, open that up. I want to work on one of our scripts here today. So Oh, sorry, I forgot. It's not even there. Never mind. My bad. This is it right here. Let me share it with you guys. I have to move it. I'll put it in the chat. So remind me somebody to post in to move it later on because I have to. People who are watching the video are gonna need this. Oh, there you go. Okay, so open that link in the chat, everybody. So this is the be back script that I've been using. And what a be back means is when a customer says what? I'll be back, right? So this is it right here. So we want to be able to handle that. But in the past would be like try to like plead with them and cry and scream, but now it's we actually have like a structured way of closing them on the spot. Does everybody have it? Have it open? I see two of you on here. Three. Okay, we're there. Good. Okay. And Carter, this is gonna be fun for you.
Where did you share this?
In the chat in on Zoom. I'll send it to you on I send
Okay,
it personally on WhatsApp as well if you need it. Okay.
thank you.
That's what I like about being on my computer. I can talk to everybody however way they want to be talked to. So, All right. So with the be back, we're gonna walk around and think about it. You're gonna get that exact wording all the time. Okay. So be ready for that. So 4 keys here: be positive and be yourself, gather their info and build rapport with them, stall them just to clarify all their decisions. There's a big one right there as a stall tactic. Also offer another solution or drop down. Okay. So no problem, Mrs. Jones. That's totally cool. I get that. It's an investment. Most people don't come around to the show expect to see Cutco. This is a good idea to think about it. Okay. Now, the only thing we're going to change here is we don't need to ask them their name. What you do is change it to how do you spell your name, depending on the situation, right? Hey, real quick before you go, let me just get your info so I can send you a catalog just in case you don't get to make it back, okay? Now, as a rep, I believe you can still do this where customers can go online and request a catalog. So you just get their info to do that, okay? What I would do, so for myself, and who else has a portal? Anybody have a rep portal yet? Carl, you got one now? It's all set up now? Perfectly set up? Good, okay. Carter? Oh, you're gonna want to get it. So what I do is I send them my rep portal instead of a catalog, okay? So it's just smarter, okay? Why did my hand up? Okay. So you send them your rep portal instead. Okay. Hey, so you get their info quickly, and you remember those sheets? I remember I showed you that carbon copy sheet that says like the event sheet there. So those pads you're gonna have. I forget how much they cost, but you buy them on your own. They're not a lot. They're like $3-4. They're not a lot. Okay. So ask John to order those for you guys. So Billy, you need to get that as well. So when you become a CSP, you can order them on your own on your app. Okay. So when you have that pad, you just fill out their info on the top, so their name, and below it asks for phone number. So I need phone number, right? But the other thing you can ask for is email if you say you're going to send you're going to send them link to everything. And there's a reason I get the phone numbers now, and you're going to love this. Like a day after, if I don't see those people come back a day later, I actually send them a text with the deal. Okay. Same exact deal that I had. Hey, just a great seeing you yesterday. Reminder. Anyway, but we're not getting into text, but I sent them a text. Now, your sales percentage on those texts are super low. Maybe I can work on making it better. But the point is, I'd rather 20% closing rate on somebody who walked away than a zero. Would everybody agree with that? Right. And I'm giving them the same deal they had before. Right. And depending on the circumstance, I might even give them a super deal because it's like, hey, we're at the last day of our contest. Want to actually give you a deal just to help you, but also help me. Okay. So you get their information. You take your sweet time. Hey, I'm just gonna go ahead and write down something to walk around with. Okay, so just make sure to have everything right. If you were getting Cutco, which option did you like again? This one. So you take your time and write down everything, and you ask a few these qualifying questions in here. Okay, just to get them to like resell themselves on it. All right, and I take my time at number 4. All right. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, so at number four, I kind of paused. Hey, just full transparency. Is it something that would it can fit without breaking the bank? Okay. So let me just finish writing this down, and I put this numbers, then I put the sale price, but I completely just shut up. I need them to think for like a good 45 seconds to a minute. For you as a rep, especially if you're younger, it's uncomfortable. Okay? It's uncomfortable hearing that silence. But there, guess what happens when it's a couple? They talk to each other while you're just there mindlessly doing your business. Okay? Because you're getting you're finding that you're getting one of them to convince each other. That's all you're doing, right? Into to talk themselves into it. Okay. Because more and more they start to look around in silence. There's clarity in silence, right? So then all of a sudden now you're like, okay, um, put a smiley face on the bottom of the sheet. And it's like, hey, just so you know, you recognize me when you come back. It's still a corny joke. Okay. All right. Hey, just out of curiosity, if you end up not getting it at the show, is this something that you'd probably end up getting down the road, Mrs. Jones? Okay, sounds good. Say, do you mind if I just be straight with you then? Okay. So just so you know, after working events now, I've learned that we don't always get to see everyone again, which by the way is no big deal. But what happens is that they go home, they start using their knives again, and start remember why they like these in the first place. Otherwise, they'll just keep buying cheap knives over and over again, again and again, when it makes more sense just to buy it once. So just curious, Mrs. Jones, on a scale of 1 to 10, what are the what's the probability, or what's probably the chances I'll call him back today? Okay, what are probably that's grammatically terrible right there. What because I usually say, well, how likely would you say, or what are the chances you have that you're going to come back and get it today? Okay, so 1 to 10. Now, anything that they say to you like a 9 or a 10, right? You're gonna just work with them there. Give them a little, try to give them a little bit of extra deal. It's just a wording. Tell you what, I got this big goal, and you only bring this up at this stage. You don't bring it up for trying to make a sale in the first place. But we have this really big goal trying to hit this weekend, so every order is going to help. If I did something a little extra special, so those are the three keywords, okay? I should actually like highlight or right. It's a little extra special for you. Would you be open to getting it since you're already here? Hey, if I gave you something a little extra special, right, for you, would you be open to getting it since you're already here? And all you're asking them is to look what kind of special, right? And you go, well, let me see. Let me see what I can do here. Now, depending on the situation, if it's a set, what you're going to try to do is you just drop down a little bit, okay? Now, you know how you have a trading special, guys? We don't do trading specials. We're clear? We don't do trading specials unless it's a nuclear option, okay? We do, you pay for some of the table knives and give them some of the table knives for free. So basically, I usually do 5 and 3, whatever, just to make it drop by like 100, $150 tops for like a bigger set, guys. Why? If I am all of a sudden willing to drop on a big chunk of money when I told them this is already the best deal, how does that look to the customer now that I'm giving them a even bigger deal?
Sleazy.
It does. It looks kind of sleazy, guys. Okay, that loses trust. So giving them 100, it may not seem like a lot to you guys because of what you're used to doing. You're used to dropping off, what's the trading special, like 300 something bucks off? Almost $400 off on a homemaker? Stupid. Don't do it. No. You're grown-ups now. No more of that. You're no longer baby reps, okay? We let the kids do that. All right. We give $100 off tops on a homemaker. And same thing with a signature, same thing with an ultimate. It's like $100 off. It's not percentage we go off by. It's by, hey, do you want to save $100 today or not? Name an adult who doesn't want to save $100. If they know they're probably going to get it anyway, why not? Or what you might do if it's like a smaller order and you didn't give anything for free yet, is then you offer something for free. Okay, maybe an extra knife or whatever. The extra knife one is like I do that for buy 3 or buy 4. So I tell you why I normally don't do this, but I really want to earn your business. So if for the extra deal, and you take your time and say, "Give me a second, let me look." So right here, you take a second to look. So I should put that here, okay? Right? See, so it's all about the timing and pace of this, guys. That's the difference between this one and the other approaches. The other approach is just read it through. This one, tone, and timing matters so much. You gotta act a little bit on this. That's why I was like, little extra special for you, right? Okay, let me see what I can do for you. And all you do is you sit back. It's kind of like this. So let me give you an analogy that I used to tell reps. Who's gone ever gone shoe shopping before? Or you walk, I'm talking like impromptu shoe shopping, not planned shoe shopping. Everybody had that? Meaning you walk by a store and like, ooh, you saw something in the window? You had that? So you walk in the store and you see the shoe you like, and then you start to kind of scan around, but you like this pair of shoes. But then you start to look around, and what don't you see? Your size. So then you go and talk to a salesperson. Hey, do you have this in a blank? Okay. So the emotions came first. What were the emotions first, everybody? Oh, it's pretty. Oh my gosh, they're so gorgeous. Oh, there's all these emotions flooding you first. Okay. Salespeople, then the salesperson says, let me check. They're in the back for maybe 35 or for maybe a minute, right? But how long does that minute mean to you when you're emotionally attached to this right now? It's forever, isn't it? So, but then you start to then, after the emotions have already kicked in, you start going through this. You start doing some kind of justification with logic, right? You know what? I deserve these. Not great logic, but you're gonna use it anyway. You know what? I just got a bonus. You know what? I've always wanted a pair like this. You know what? You start filling in all these logical reasons why you deserve and should get these shoes. And you know what? You even had a cross in your mind of what? Oh, the salesperson is gonna say they don't have it. So I gotta look for another pair that's similar to it. So you start scanning, but then you stop scanning because you feel bad you're cheating on the pair that you were looking for in the first place, right? Let me find out first before I decide to move on, right? But then you see the salesperson walking back now and they're holding a box. What have you already decided?
I'm gonna buy it.
You're buying them, right? At this stage, as long as they fit, you're buying them. Got that, everybody? See, so that minute and a half the salesperson took was just to give you, well, I mean, they're looking, but the same sales thing happens. It gives you clarity in the meantime. Everybody get that? So you're going to do that with your customer. Take your time. All right. Okay. Let me see what I can do here. All right. And then you just pull up, hey, here's what I'm willing to do for you today. If we're going to do this right now, is you get this, and I'm going to also include this, or I'm actually going to take out of my commission. So that's another language word you got to use. I'm taking this out of my commission because I want to earn your business today. And it's far more likely for me that you'll buy now than if you walk away and come back. Okay, don't be afraid to be honest with them. I'd rather give you a little bit off my commission and make less on the sale than hope you come back, because most likely, you're gonna get caught in the show. It's a great show, all stuff. So here we go. And you pull them off. And you just have the sheet in front of them. You haven't torn their copy off yet, guys. So what do you think, Mrs. Jones? And they're just like, yeah, okay. Some will say yes, some will say no. It's okay. So far, I'm closing about 70% of them. Once I get to the pad, other reps are like, oh, I've lost it. Me, I'm like, sweet, gotcha. Because I know I'm gonna close 70% of them because I'm gonna give a deal. Okay. And even if a customer is like overly anxious, say, hey, you knock off this amount, I'll do it. Okay, they're like, hey, tell you what, you knock $100 off, I'll do it. Because you get people who are just salespeople like that. Do you just immediately say yes? You gotta perform, guys, right? So okay, so do that. I'll tell you one quick story and then we can keep going with this. At the Stampede, so I had this one client who it ended up being like, it was a good decent size order. It was like 600 something. And then same thing, wrote it on the pad. I already had it in my head. I was going to drop down $66. Okay, what's 66? A table knife. I already knew I was going to offer that when I wrote the sheet and say, hey, what if I gave you a little extra special deal for you, right? So I already had it planned. However, my genius self, instead of writing down the regular price that I was supposed to write for them, what did I accidentally write? The new price that I was going to do, right? So the minus the 66. And I wrote it in front and I went, oh, sorry. And I crossed it out. And she went, no, I like that number better. I go, sorry, I just wrote the wrong number. Even though I was already going to offer it, guys. I'm already going to offer it. But I went, no, sorry, that was just I wrote the wrong number. She goes, you do that number, I'll do it right now. And did I say yes right away? No, I looked at her square in the face, like squinting. And I put my arm out. And she shook my hand, pulled out her credit card immediately. You cannot say yes to when they offer you a deal first right away, guys. Why? The second they get their way, what do they do again? They push again. They push again. So never say yes on their first offer. Okay? You make it a little bit hard if you can. Okay? Got that, everybody? Just to protect you as well. All right. Okay. I'm sure she walked away, sucker, and I walked away, suck. No, we both win, so it's all good. Okay. So then if not, you drop down. Okay. Hey, just so you know, we do have one of the options a little bit smaller. Because if they're like saying to you anything 8 or less, they're like, well, probably a 7 or an 8 or so. Or I usually actually just a little honest. Hey, just sounds like as if the price of the set might be a little bit overwhelming for you today. You know what? I actually didn't get a chance to show you the smaller set. Can I just quickly show you that before you go? Right? And they always say the people who are genuinely interested will say yes. The people who have zero interest, they were just being nice to you by saying we'll be back. And actually, you won't even get this far. When you say, let me write it down for you, they say, no, it's okay, we'll remember. They're not coming back, guys. People say, I'll remember, you'll never see them again anyways. It's all good. Okay. But if they're like, yeah, okay, sure, go ahead. We do have an option that's a little bit smaller than this, as one a few less knives for a lot less money. I think it might be better for you based on what you're telling me. Do you mind if I just show it to you just for fun? And you go straight down into the showstopper, not the galley, not the homemaker, the showstopper. Okay, guys, we don't have time to drop down slowly like we do in a demo. You're not in their kitchen in their territory. We're in open territory. Drop straight from wherever you were straight to the showstopper. Remember, you showed them 6 options. They picked usually one of the higher ones. Immediately go to the showstopper. Okay. Everybody get that? Okay. So this is pretty much it right here. So that we just covered here. Okay. So over here. The rest of these are just kind of common objections. This sheet you can read over yourselves later on. This is the part I really, really wanted to get good at. So we're gonna do this. Okay, we're all back. Okay. So that you need to practice a lot. I haven't really come up with like an official script for the text back because everybody's different, right? So it really depends on what the situation is, because sometimes it was a set, right? Question.
So I noticed that when we were reading the script, it says like at the very top. One sec, I'm just pulling it up. So it says at the very top, it says no problem at all, Miss Jones. That's totally cool. I get that it's an investment. And then below that, it says gather their info and build rapport. So do you
And then like ask what their name is.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to know their name beforehand.
Yeah, I covered that. So ask them spell their name. And like,
okay,
you didn't get
oh, spell it. Okay,
yeah. Spell it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we can edit that, but yeah, so it's spell their name out.
I was meaning that's something I was meaning to ask before, but I just asked now. Just clear.
All good. No, I mentioned
the name before.
I mentioned it before.
Yeah.
All good.
Okay, so my bad.
No, that's fine. Good pick up on that. Okay. So because again, this was like a little bit different after, but I was using this a lot. And that pad is gold. So that's the one thing, it's like you don't want to lose is that notepad afterwards. Because I would wait, like, depending on the situation, if it's later in the show, you're saying these texts like out the next day, if that, right? And like the first thing in the morning. If it's actually, I don't even see why you wouldn't just send it the next day, right? Like in general. Right? Because hey, right? Because here's the thing. Even if only 1 in 15 people get back to you, it's still 1. And it costs you a text message, which costs you exactly $0. Correct, everybody? So I don't see any reason not to do it. Okay. So that's been really helpful for me. And by the way, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be better systems on what to text the customer. I just don't know, but I'd rather text them than not text them. Okay. And if not, there's an email you could do as well. If they have Cutco, you might have gotten their info from when you got them to fill out for the service call stuff and everything. So there's that as well. But either way, you're good to go. Okay, everybody? All right, let me jump over to the schedule here, okay? So just looking at the schedule here so far. Now, none of this is set in stone. My goal is by Friday to really have this down. It's I gotta talk to Carl, figure out times. Billy has his days. I gotta figure out times for him. So Billy, what I had you here doing is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then do like so you could do like a half day Tuesday, but then full Wednesday, Thursday, because that's the one you actually may have a partner now, because depending on what Julie says, she might be working. She could work with, so you guys could either work the full time together or like split a little bit, like do 1 hour on, 1 hour off. You know what I mean? So because she's available for that as well. Okay, so then so basically those of you, once you've trained, once you've done both your all your shadow days, at that point then I'd have you in for that. So if we're feeling, by I'd say Friday, and I'll have conversations with you guys. So that's basically, I know for sure Linda's interested in working days of the show. I don't know what your situation is, Spencer, being that you're out in London and living, being able to like crash somewhere or whatever the case is, but in Toronto, you're good. What's your
I got to figure it out. I got to figure it out. Yeah.
And
So-
I'm
so-
willing to drive, stay night, find a place regardless. I really want to do shows, so.
I get that part. I'm just saying, do you have a logistically, if you were to
I got it
Toronto
covered.
for a few days, are you able to do you have a place you could crash at? Do you know
I
somebody?
can. Yes.
I got that
Yes.
figured out for me at least.
Okay, so
I
you
can
have you have no problem with a place, Spencer.
No.
Okay,
No.
so see that this makes you more attractive as far as putting in. Make sure I put that properly.
No.
No, not
Thank you,
over Linda.
thank you,
Linda,
thank
have
you.
more space.
Thank
Both-
you.
I don't mean you, Linda. I meant him.
Okay.
I
Okay,
had him
good.
as almost a no in my book because of
Oh, good.
in London
Am I
and school and stuff. That's all.
As long as I'm a yes in your book, then we're
Yes.
good.
No, you're
But
the
I'm more,
first. Yeah.
I'm more attractive. you said.
Awesome. Okay.
Yes. Right. Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry. You're number two. Mike's number one because he lives in Toronto. So okay. But I actually can't, because actually one of our team members can't make it now. So I actually can put 3 people in. So that could be a possibility there. Okay. And that doesn't discount for Julie if you're watching this. It doesn't discount you. This wouldn't affect you at all. Okay. Because Alana's away for a lot of the event. Carl's away for some of it. We have and we have a big booth. We have lots of opportunity for people to come in and work shifts. Sometimes you might work like a half shift, which is like a 6 to 7 hour shift, right? Which was weird to think that's a half shift. But then some days you might work a little bit longer, like 10 hours. I'm working that all out this week. This is literally my life this week, guys. Okay. So here's what I need from some of you. Okay. I already have Carl and I already have Billy. Carter's already given me his days. So Carter, you're already set. Whatever you see in here is your days. I just don't have your times yet. That's all. Okay. But so, and then I will do my best, Carter. Some days I'll have you finish a little early because I know the train schedule, unless you're staying in Toronto. Okay, it depends. Because I know some days you do, some days you don't, right? So, and you and I already talked. So you and I already have an agreement. So okay, so we're set there. Okay. So what I need from the two of you, as well as Mike and then Julie, is after your training days of when you can, one, if I don't have your training days already, which you can say I have these guys down here already, Julie will get back to me. I need to know what days you are like you for sure can do and like definitely can't do. So the sooner you send that to me and send that to me.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I thought we were figuring it now. I was gonna grab.
No. Message
Okay.
those to me. Message those
Listen
to
to
me.
Rob, Linda. Listen to
Okay.
Rob.
DM me on
I
Slack.
jumped
I'm sorry,
there.
not Slack. Message me on WhatsApp. Okay.
Okay. All right.
You have what's-
All right. So any days work? Which days are the? Okay.
You got it.
sorry.
You're excited.
You message me. Yeah. Remember I mentioned the puppy humping the leg, guys? That's what Linda's right now. She's just like, get me in there, coach. All right. She just wants to sell. Okay. Anyway, so with this right here, it's calculated by the hours. So the hours are a total plus whatever. We punch them on. Not ignore all these right now. These are just me. I was just messing with the algorithm to make sure it worked. Okay. So none of these are real. Okay. So everybody get that? So don't look at any of this stuff here. The show costs $8,300. So that's divided by the percentage of work you did, meaning the amount of hours. By the way, some hours are going to be like if you did a 10 to 6 shift or 10 to 4 shift, the first hour or two, it's like, remember, the building's big. People haven't gotten in yet. You might not get a lot of traction there, but then it makes up afterwards. Okay. But just to be fair, because there's no person who's working just prime hours. Does that make sense, everybody? right? And we're talking, it's not a big deal when we do it that way. When we do it by shift, it would be much more disproportional because somebody could be working mostly half shifts, but they're paying just as much as someone who worked full shifts. It's just not fair. Okay, everybody? So it actually works out for everybody better that way. When we do a small show, it doesn't actually matter because it's just 2, 3, 4 days, right? So we don't really care at that point. Got it, everybody? Okay. So when we put this in, all these charges come up. If there's any costs that are communal costs or so, which really I don't know if there will be because I'm not buying food. Alana's gonna buy her own food. You know, if I steal a potato from her here and there, it's not a big deal, but don't go taking Alana's stuff when she buys her own stuff. So keep that in mind. Oh, passes. That's the thing I was trying to remember. So I need to know quickly your days because I have to order your passes. Okay. I will be paying for them, but then I will text message you. You e-transfer me the money back. Okay, everybody. Passes, we get them super cheap. Anybody ever been to the CNE before? That's not a show rep. So usually it's like what, 20, 25 bucks per day, right? We get them super cheap. So an 18-day pass, if you went every day, is 77 bucks. Okay. A 9-day, and here's the thing with a 9-day pass. A 9-day pass, I think, is 41. The thing with the 9-day pass, it's not 9 consecutive days. It's 9 days. You can go anytime in that spot. Okay. So Carl and I will have to have an 18-day because we're working more than 9 days, right? And it's just cheaper for us to do it that way. Carter can get you, I think you can get a 9-day pass this time, right? Yeah. So and then Billy, yeah, a 9-day is still cheaper for you because a 5-day pass would cost you more, as in because you have to pay for 3 days and then an extra. You either have to pay for 2, 3 days or 3 plus 2 extra days. That costs more than the 9-day. Okay, so expect yours to be about 40 something bucks for your pass. Okay, the only thing is when you come in, so I'll talk to them again. But what happened last year was if you didn't come in on the first day for your passes, then it's a bit to come walk in free. They were trying to charge you for. I think Carter, what happened with you? Because I know you came in middle of the show, right? So did you just tell them, hey, I'm new today, I'm getting my pass? And like how did you get in?
Yeah, well, one, you just got to use your objection
Oh
cycle.
wait, never mind. I can send you those passes. I can.
And then you can show
great.
them a screenshot of like the
All
thing.
right.
And say, hey, I'm here to go pick up my pass.
Never
Also,
mind.
it helped. I was wearing my Cutco shirt anyway, so I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm literally here to go work a booth. But they didn't give me any issues.
Yeah. I just remembered when I get the codes, I get a QR code for the passes, so I can text them to you all. Okay, that is to get you in the park once, but then you have to go straight to the show office and get your picture taken for your passes. Okay, guys. So the second we figure out logistics of days and who's working when and so, I need those immediately. And then you'll get. I'll order the passes. I'll text you and say, hey, Linda, send me here, e-transfer me $40 or whatever the case is, and then you're all set. Okay, guys?
So do we just text you all the days that we are free and then you figure that out?
I'm going to figure that out afterwards because you're not going to necessarily get every day you want.
Yeah.
But keep in
Just
mind,
text all the free days.
remind you when you go on this counter, guys, the blue is COC, so you're not available here. Technically, we're available in the evening. So I just found that out, Billy. The conference is done like noonish. So someone could come in for a 4 o'clock shift. We could, so maybe we look at that. Right?
So if somebody wants to come in on the Thursday afternoon, that would be like, I know maybe we don't have time to talk about it.
No, absolutely.
I can easily be here for the whole day Tuesday and the whole day Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure how much I can be here that Thursday for the CNE.
Is it the Thursday or is it the third day straight? Because from what I understood, I thought it was the 3 days straight. But if it was, that's why I was saying you do half of Tuesday and then Wednesday, Thursday. But if that's the case, if we got to figure it out, I think we have enough manpower to probably see if we can figure that out.
Yeah, I think Thursday I need to be back in the Tillsonburg area by about 2 or 3, maybe 4 o'clock in the afternoon at the latest.
Oh, so
but maybe not.
So
yeah,
the problem with the challenge is if we're done at like noonish, maybe 1, I'm gonna say 1 the latest. It's gonna take us 2 hours to get back. Maybe not that long because actually no, probably still 2 hours, right, guys? You guys know that.
Okay. All right, I'll
If
see what
there's
I
no
can do.
traffic.
Or what about Julie? Was
It
Julie
also
able
depends
to
on
come?
Julie, so that's a conversation with Julie.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay.
If Julie's there, then we're good, because then these guys can come in. I would actually prefer having someone like Spencer or Mike or Linda come in afterwards, and they work
Mhm.
the evening with Julie, right? So if that's
Yep.
if that's doable, okay.
Yep, very good. I mean, and I'll get back to you later this week about that.
Yeah. No, I guys, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, where will you find me? Sitting here working on this. I have nothing else in my agenda this week. Okay? Nothing else. This is the most important week of my life. So we're clear. Okay, guys? So you know, don't worry. You I'll be able to do anytime you text me, I'll be most available now than ever before. Okay. All right. So we understand that this is the stuff I need from the calendar here. Okay, guys. All right. So the quicker you get that to me, the better, and I can start like working stuff out here fully. Anyway, so back to this. So passes. Oh, let me mute you real quick, but you're getting some feedback. Okay. So passes, I need the once I know how many days you're working, I'll order the passes for you. It will not be more. Those of you who are working like, again, depends, right? If you're working like more than 6 days, I forget how much a 3-day pass is, but I'll pull it up and it'll be there. Okay, so I'll know exactly how much you pay for all your passes.
How many days are you allowed to get passes for if you're a newer rep, or is there a set amount of days you're allowed to work?
No, it just depends on what makes sense, right? So
Mhm.
like this is a show where it's great to train and it's great to kind of practice. Like in the past, when I didn't have as structured a training as we did now, I'm telling you right now, guys, you are better now as long as you role play. If you practice your scripts. If you don't practice the script, you're gonna have the first 2 or 3 shifts you work, you're gonna struggle hard. I promise you that. Okay. If you practice your scripts and just get good at the beginning and then the language and so, you're gonna start closing more. You'll notice that. But if let's say you work say 7 days, maybe the first day you struggle a little bit because you're just getting into it, right? But that's why we have 2 straight training days, and then we kind of can get you straight into the shifts right afterwards. Okay.
Kind of like the demos, like the more you do, the
It's
better.
it just happens that way, right? Because you're changing from the demo you
Yeah.
learn over to this.
Mhm.
Okay. However, you should still close because Cutco owners exist. Cutco
Okay.
easy people to sell to because you now have a structure on how to sell to Cutco owners. Okay.
Awesome.
If you don't practice a script though, you're going to struggle for the first day or two until you realize, crap, I got to get it together. Let me not do what I've been doing. And then you'll be start to sell. Okay. So 2 years ago, when we first started this whole program with the CNE with branches and other reps coming in, right? 2 branches with me. The first day they struggled hard. They did. All right. And that's normal. And by the way, they were pretty decently trained, but not the same script we're doing now. After that, they started tearing it up, especially their final 3 shifts. They sold like 80% of their sales in that last 3 days. Okay, so they ended up selling 7K and they worked 9 shifts. So they made $3,500 because they made 50% commission, and it cost them $1,000. So they made $2,500 in that time frame. Okay, for that. Got that, everybody? Yep, Catherine and Emily. All right, who are both my assistants. So everybody get that? So the more you practice and learn now, the more money you're gonna make. And you're also gonna reduce that learning curve. If you come into the show, so this is mostly like Carter, I'm telling you. If you come in using the same old script you did, you're gonna get the same old results, which is a $200 average order size, and you're gonna close sometimes, like a lower percentage. If you practice this script over and over again, and you sit down in the morning on like Carter, you're taking the training, I'd be reading this on the train. I read it on my tablet in the car if I'm with Carl sometimes, right? Carl and I have like gone through things like, and we sit down before the show starts and we read it. We don't talk to each other, but we read it. Okay. Because we don't role play together because Carl and I don't like each other that much, right? So, but we read it for sure. And like, hey, oh, I missed this. Oh, I missed this. Let me figure this part out. Just be a student for the next 2 weeks, and it's profitable for you. Okay. I don't have people come to the show and lose money. That's never the goal. So because I don't want to discourage you, it can happen, but it shouldn't happen. Got that, guys? It will happen the more you do shows, though. You will lose money on a couple of shows. Carl and I, well, sorry. I've lost money on one show this year, or two shows this year. Carl's lost money on one, right? Because Carl had a fat order than that other show. All right. So I actually had two fat orders. But that was it. He just hit 2 home runs out the park and he was like, I'm good. Okay. And that can happen. Okay, guys. So anyway, get that to me as soon as possible. I don't see any other like charges. I can't think of any, but here's an example. Okay. So say someone works X number of hours for this. So like me, I work the most hours because I'm going to be working like 14 shifts, 13, 14 shifts. I'm paying $2,000. I'm paying almost a quarter of the show. Okay. But I'm living there. So that makes sense. Got it. Say someone like, Emily worked, 4 or 5 days or so, or sorry, not 4 or 5, like, that would be about, I did it based on 10 hours a day. So that's like 7 days. 7 days would be about $1,000. Okay. And additionals are things like, so the rental fee. So again, if you don't have a full kit, if you do not own a full sample kit, meaning the sets, the cookware, the flatware, all stuff, once you're checked off, right? Then you're renting because we have to then you're borrowing that product from us, right, guys? So that's $20 a day up to 5 days. So you don't pay more than 5. So even if you work 10 days, you only pay $20 for 5 days. If you on also the show fund contribution, which is what this is right here, all this goes towards that. So right now we're negative $200 because I've overdrafted into it. Okay, all right, that money will come back now anyways. It's fine. So that is that also gets contributed as well. Okay, so that's $200. If you're working 5 days, you're paying $200. Okay, you'll notice Alana and I it's less because Alana and I don't pay show fund. Sorry, not show fund. We don't pay rental because Alana and I already bought our own full sample kit. Okay, so Billy, a full kit means the knife sets, the cookware, the flatware as well. It's everything. It's not just the knives. So you have to have the part. So you have part of it right now. You don't need to bring your kits because you can't keep them there anyway. I have 3 sets that we're bringing. So Carl has his set of knives, my set of knives, as well as Johnny's set of knives. So you don't have to actually, you can show up, Billy. Okay. What I would bring with you is any of like your specialty knives. That's about it. You don't need your homemaker. Don't need anything else. I will have the booth set for you. Okay. So you are good to go. Cool. All right. Yeah, so Billy, by the way, guys, he's already bought the sets. So he's already getting started on completing his kit. All right. So why we don't charge people for full kit is we know we reciprocate with each other on borrowing stuff. Got it? So like if let's say Billy had his own full kit, what would end up happening is even though I don't work with Billy as often, say if I go to an event in London, Billy would bring his kit. So I would save me from transporting my whole kit because he's got it. And when Billy comes to Toronto, he's got my kit. So he doesn't have to bring all of his stuff now. So Billy and I can have an agreement with each other that we don't pay each other for the kits now. Does that make sense, guys? So it's like a gentleman's agreement, okay? So same thing with Alana. She doesn't pay for anybody. I don't pay for her. We share our kits. Got it? But if people bring their whole thing, whoever set the show, that money goes towards them for the rental fee. Sounds good, everybody? Okay. All right. So this is kind of gives you an idea of cost. I don't have a breakdown of what it is per shift, right? Because I need to figure out the hours first. But by Friday, we should have this so that we can have an idea of what it's going to cost you there. So, say Billy works, I know he's working 5 days. I know 50 hours won't be exact, right? But just as an example there. So he can expect about $800 in there. Okay. By the way, I think that 800, that 800 also includes the 200, by the way. Okay. So it says it right here. So it's everything here. So the show cost him 600, but 100 plus 100. Everybody got that? This is all of this combined. Everybody got that? So meaning this number here, cell I, is your complete charge, not your, I'm not counting the passes because the passes you're going to e-transfer me that. Sounds good, guys? All right. So then you do your math there. Okay. So what do I need to sell to break even? Well, for me, I know that I got to sell at least $6,000 to break even, right? Because I make roughly a 30%, right? I'm going to sell $6,000 in my sleep, right? So it's not really a problem there, right? Last year I sold 11,000 and working 11 days, so about $1,000 per day. So I do the math, right? So I made 5,500 minus $2,000. So I made 3,500 for the show. Got it? So that's how I kind of work. So made just over $300 per day. Okay. And that was with me having, a terrible script. Now we got this amazing script. We're gonna sell way more. Sounds good, guys? Okay. All right. For time wise, we have like maybe a couple minutes here. I don't want to go over here. Let me just pause.